Okay, so the Ableton Move just dropped on Sweetwater, like literally a few minutes ago, I think. And so we're getting my first impressions on it, and we're gonna get a sneak peek at this. I haven't seen anyone be able to review it yet. I don't know if the embargo's come up yet. I think it's like 7 in the morning in Berlin right now. Unfortunately, I obviously do not have an Ableton Move that was sent to me for review or anything, so we're going to be looking over this, try and glean what we can from the listing on Sweetwater, go over the different specs, the pictures, the pricing, etc. So right off the bat, it's $449, which different people have different opinions on. I think this is a pretty nice sweet spot, especially when you think about like the Push 3 standalone is $2,000, and this is also a standalone instrument, they say, and it is a quarter of the price, technically even less than that. So I think that's a pretty big deal. Obviously, I think the elephant in the room is this screen right here. A lot of people are going to have problems with this. I am going to hold off judgment until I see it used. Maybe they got it like really down on the workflow to where you just really don't need a screen except for like a tiny bit of information. Maybe there will be a way to like pair it with Ableton Note, and use like your iPad or your iPhone or whatever. Unfortunately, I don't think that's come out to Android still, even after all this time. So you're going to need an iOS device if it does have Note compatibility, but we don't even know if it is. So I think my first impressions looking at this is that these knobs, for me, look like they might be a problem. I don't know about just like shoving this in a bag and going somewhere with it. You're probably going to want like a case or something. But I think overall, this like form factor is pretty cool. I personally think I would have been like more down for a device that has like a 4x4 pad setup and then like maybe a bigger screen or just like something, maybe even a smaller device at that point. But I think this is cool. I like that it's way more affordable than the Push 2. I like that it's going to be standalone and have like portability, and it's going to come with like, I think they said 1,500 different presets to just help you like kind of jump right into it and start making music. I don't know how good those presets are going to be. Obviously, you're not going to have like Serum running on this kind of thing, so it's probably going to be like Operator or whatever the new Ableton 12 synths are. But overall, I think that's really cool. We can see, so we got like knobs up here. Those are probably going to be for editing parameters, just like on the Push. And then this is probably going to be like a master volume or something. I'm guessing these you're going to use to like select clips, or see like what's playing, what different instruments are going. We got a record, we got a mute, maybe that's a duplicate, something to probably open up more parameters, direction knobs, plus and minus, a back button. This is probably a delete. Maybe this is like looping. I don't know if this has like a microphone. There's also, oh wait, so if this is the record button, that's the play button. I'm not sure what that is. And I'm using like a Push 1, so I'm pretty far back in like Ableton hardware. So maybe this will be more clear to someone who has a Push 3, or maybe we'll find out when we go over in the specs. It looks like this is going to be what you use to power it. I don't know if it comes with a battery. We'll find out as we dig deeper into this. This is my first impression and my first time seeing all this too. And a USB-C cable. This is the back. These knobs, wow, yeah. So even in like that first picture, I was like, I don't know if I want like to have these kind of knobs here that just like poke out. And I was a bit concerned about it. And now seeing it from this angle, this is like more concerning because dang, these knobs are tall. They're like as tall as the rest of the device here. And I really would have liked if that was like a way to like push those knobs in so that they sink into it. I know like I have an old DJ controller made by Native Instruments from like 2013 or 15 maybe, and even it has like a way to like push the knobs into the hardware, and then they kind of like recess so you could take it places the knobs don't break. And I don't know about these knobs. I feel like they're probably going to be pretty similar to like the push one knobs, at which case like these can just come right off. So it's probably not going to break because like the shaft that the knob sits on for my push is metal, but I have a feeling people are going to be losing knobs, and it could break. I mean, I don't know. You probably, like I said before, would want like some sort of case. When you start having to have like a case to protect the knobs, it's starting to lose like some of that portability factor, and then of course cases cost money. But let's move away from knobs. It looks like we have a power button, a headphone out, audio in, a USB-A port that's labeled MIDI, and a USB-C that has a computer and a charging icon. So I guess this is probably, even though it's standalone, you probably will be able to like connect this to your computer and use it kind of like a push. And the fact it says like that lightning thing, like that could just be power, but it makes me wonder if there's a battery in here. I wonder if these are balanced. I don't know. I guess like this would be just like the audio out. We can see right here on the screen it says Bonfire Bass, so that's probably like a preset name. The pads don't have the same look as like the MPE pads on the Push 3, so I don't know. I have a feeling this isn't going to be MPE compatible, but maybe. That would be really cool. I feel like that would be like a for sure. If it has MPE, I'd get it, like especially at that price point. It's a standalone Ableton hardware device. You could probably use this like a push, and then you could probably just use it like a groove box, go out, do whatever you're doing, go camping, going to school, in between breaks, like just anywhere you can find time. If you're like on the go, just make music, which you can do with like Note too, but like Note's not great. I know there's other apps, but if you're like trying to stay within the Ableton ecosystem, there's not really a whole lot of like on the go. I mean, obviously the Push 3 has a standalone option, but it's pretty big, and it's also $2,000. And like I know, like certainly there's a lot of musicians who can't afford that, but I know there's a lot of musicians who aren't buying like a $2,000 like Push. So this is just more pictures from the front, and now we're looking at the side. You can see those giant knobs again. Other side, big knobs. You can see those ports. It looks like they're full-size quarter, but again, I don't know if they're balanced. It's interesting to me that this USB-A port is just labeled MIDI. So I don't know if that's like connecting like a keyboard or another MIDI device into it, or if it's more like using this to get MIDI out into something else. And then we're back at the first picture, so we're going to stop looking at the pictures for a second. Up here at the top it says Ableton Move standalone 4-track instrument with 1,500 presets, sounds, and instruments. So it's not just presets, it's 1,500 presets, sounds, and instruments. 32 RGB backlit performance pads, 9 rotary encoders, 16 multifunctional buttons, sampler, 16-step sequencer, arpeggiator, polyphonic aftertouch, FX, OLED display. You're telling me that's OLED? The thing's tiny. That's great. I don't know if OLED was necessary, but I guess when it's that small, it probably doesn't make too big of a difference. Ableton Link. So then, yeah, you probably can use this with a computer. I think Ableton Link was like a way to like get projects from Note to your PC. I could be wrong, so I think it's using that too. And bundled software. I wonder if that just comes with like a intro or a light license or something, which I feel like most people who buy this probably already have a better license than that. But we'll dig into it. Wow, this is a lot of descriptions. Okay, so standalone power sees the groove box whenever it moves you. Ableton's trailblazing work in the DAW dimension has cemented the company as a premium powerhouse for seamless studio and stage use. Meanwhile, the Push controller expanded Ableton Live's innovated interfacing and modularity into the world of physical control. Ableton Move is the next-gen fusion of form and function, meticulously engineered to transform the lauded sounds, instruments, effects, performance tools of Ableton into truly standalone instrument, no DAW required. Move's 4-track architecture is augmented by a suite of more than 1,500 presets, sounds, instruments, effects, spanning multitude of synthesis styles and drum kits. So that's pretty interesting. I feel like what they're going for here is just going to be like similar to how they marketed like Note. You're just going to be able to open up a project, create a new project, and then it's just going to have like a bunch of instruments and synths already like kind of picked out for you, and you'll be able to change that or just start a new one, and it will give you a new randomized set of presets. And a lot of people like that because then they don't have to dig through presets and they get to explore and have these like combos given to them kind of and just see how they flow. And that creative limitation for some people helps them make the best music that they can, not having to spend so much time getting bogged down looking for the right presets and all this and that. I have kind of like mixed feels about it. Like I liked Note. I got it like as soon as it came out, but I think I've only used it like 4 or 5 times. Like it's really cool, but it's just like not personally like how I like to do things, I guess, but I'll still try it out. We'll see. I think so far I am interested in getting this. Like I said, I use like a push 1, which I think is great. Like I tried getting a push 2, and I just don't think the pads were as good as the push 1. If you crank the sensitivity up on the push 1, like these pads are just amazing. You just barely have to like touch it. Where the push 2, I was like having to like slam my finger down on it sometimes. It was like I didn't like that. Even with the sensitivity like adjusted on the push 2, it was not as sensitive as the push 1. So I still stuck with the push 1. I don't know what the push 3 pads are like. The $2,000 price tag's keeping me away from that. But this $450, that might be something we can pull off. I really hope it has MPE. I don't think it's gonna have MPE though. Looking at those pads, it looks different. So basically, they're talking about all this different presets, just no DAW. You take the thing, you go play, make music. It says, plus Move's extensive connectivity capabilities make wired and wireless control of your DAW software or hardware a natural extension of Move's comprehensive solar performance capabilities. Whether you're sketching ideas, writing on the go, hitting the main stage, Ableton Move is a bona fide instrument unto itself, merging everything you love about Ableton's cutting-edge DAW possibility and standalone powerhouse. It's interesting. Yeah, so they said that they liked its expression and flexibility and the robust sampling and all that, but I don't know. We'll find out. Sorry for the dog noises back there. Speed, precision, and possibility. No more overthinking. So I have a feeling they're going to be talking about how you can just start it and go without having to spend forever digging through presets, which I've got like 20,000 Serum presets. Like I understand you can definitely get bogged down looking through presets, spend days doing that if you want to, and certainly people aren't always looking for that, and that's fine, and I think that's probably for the best that it's built the way it is. I think that people will find a lot of interesting, cool combinations, and it's a big enough amount, 1,500 synth presets and instruments and whatnot, that I think that it'll be like unique still when people make music with it, especially since the combos are kind of randomized. You're not likely to probably, I would hope, get the same exact set of like instruments and synths presets that like someone else who makes a song does. But I think at the end of the day, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, you like the music, you like the sounds, that's kind of all that matters, right? So I think that's really cool. It says it has 64 gigabytes of onboard storage. I don't really know, like, that sounds like it could be enough, but it sounds like it could, like, maybe not. I don't think synth presets, like, take a whole lot of space, but when you're dealing with 1,500 sounds and instruments, built-in effects and all that already in there, certainly you'll be able to add your own presets, but I don't know, like, I don't know how to quantify that. I don't know if that's going to be, like, a lot. I don't know if it's going to leave some people wanting more space. I'm just gonna Control F here, MPE. Oh man, it tricked me for a second. I thought we had one. Yeah, so that if it's not in the marketing material that there's MPE, then there's just not going to be MPE. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's what it is. I mean, like I said, it's less than a quarter of the price of a Push 3. So can't really be expecting everything. If you're looking for like really cheap MPE options, they exist out there. So I guess there's that. I know like I personally, and I don't recommend this at all, I kind of dislike the experience I had with the customer support, but if you're looking for like cheap MPE, like these kind of things like the Jouet Play, like they're out there. I got this like used, and then I just bought the pads new, and like it gets the job done, but like the software that it comes with isn't too great. But if you're just looking for like cheap MPE, then it's there. Good luck integrating it with your DAW. That's the real struggle. So having like something like this that had MPE would have been really cool to me, because I personally don't like the Jouet Play, and it's like the only MPE device I have. So I was hoping for that, but it's not there. But I don't think it needs it for what it is. It just would have been like kind of nice. And a lot of people, before you like get too hung up on MPE, you need to also think about like the kind of music you make, whether it would even benefit from MPE. The expressiveness, being able to like wiggle your finger, something you're obviously not going to get on like an actual piano or keyboard, but depending what you're making, that kind of like tremolo vibrato effect that you get on MPE might not even actually like sound good or fit in. So different people will be sad or not sad about that, I guess. I'm a little sad, but to be honest, I don't make much use of MPE anyway. So let's see, what else do we got? So there was a 64 gigabytes of storage. So you get the 4 tracks. You can do sampler, instruments, synthesizer, drum kits. Your 32 pads, which again, I feel like I could have gone with like 16 pads and had like put that money towards something else like MPE, or a bigger screen. But overall, not that big a deal. I'm not sure what it's going to do with those 16 buttons. Let's see, it can be assigned to a multitude of dynamic tools, effects, or parameters, letting you engage and record real-time tweaking and automation with ease. So it looks like it's just going to be for like automation, modulation and whatnot, changing parameters on the fly. Which I would think that's what the knobs would be for the parameters, but I guess you might select parameters with the buttons, or be able to change what parameters are on the knobs. 2 simultaneous effects per track, as well as 2 master output effect slots in the full gambit of Move and Tyrannic. What does that even mean? Contouring, depth, and dimension are never out of reach. So step into sessions and sequencing like the Push before it. The Move emulates elements of Ableton Session View. Whether you're a session view or an arrangement view lover, like you might find different love for this. Personally, I'm like an arrangement view kind of guy, but I do see the appeal of session view and just getting ideas out there and trying to throw just everything out, see what sticks, put it all together, throw things away that don't. And just having like those clips there that you can pull from, and those different like musical ideas. I don't know, with that little screen, like I guess like there's definitely no way to do like any arrangement view type thing in there. I really hope there's going to be a way to integrate this with like your Ableton Note supported devices. Much like the It's onboard microphone and speaker. It has a speaker? Speaker support? Speakers, built-in speakers. And is that built-in processor speakers micro? So is there a microphone just built into this? 'Cause I did not expect that. I wonder if it's any good. Oh, we missed it. It's onboard microphone. Oh, yeah, that's what it said, huh? So onboard microphone speaker let you sample your surroundings straight into your session. See, I think that's pretty cool. I was not expecting that, especially with this form factor. And I didn't even see like any grills or anything for the speaker. Like, I see this little dot. That might be the microphone. Maybe the speaker is just sealed inside, so it's more punchy or something. I don't know. I wonder what that speaker is going to sound like. I wonder what that microphone's going to sound like. Certainly there will be people who were sent this device for review and have had time to play with it who are under like an NDA or an embargo, and I'm sure that that embargo will be lifted soon. So I'm hopefully we will all be able to see very quickly what that speaker and microphone sounds like. Yeah, so sampling is going to be a thing. Also features a stereo 3.5 millimeter I/O that can be used to sample. Okay, so those are 3.5 millimeter. Really? Yeah, I guess they are. They do look a little tiny in that view. From here, it looked bigger. I just assumed this was like a big power button, but maybe that power button's like the size of a 1/4 inch, and these are not. Keep losing where I'm at. Sample audio from countless external sources, as well as resample your heart's content by feeding the audio output back to the input. Transform traffic noises into distinct drums or power tools into scorching synth-like leads. The world is yours to sample. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of times where I'm just like out and about and I'm like, oh, that would make like a cool thing to sample and mess with. And like you can always pull your phone out. But this will be more seamless if you have the device out, I guess, too, and you have it with you to just go from recording to manipulating that audio. Whereas with the phone, you'd have to like send it to yourself and then pull it onto the computer into Ableton or something at a different time. This is more like straight up. You get the recording, you start messing with it, so that's cool. No slouch in the rhythm department, 1,500 plus built-in sounds. They really like to hit on that number. It includes a slew of diverse dynamic drums. And see, like, you don't know based on that, like, this 1,500, like, is it, like, evenly distributed between sounds, instruments, synth presets, drum kits? Like, it's very unclear how many like drum sets there are going to be in here, how many presets and all that, but we know the total is going to be over 1,500, but that doesn't really tell us too much if we don't know the distribution of those. But I'm guessing it'll be plenty. It's probably not going to be like perfect, but it'll help you get ideas down for sure, and there will be certainly kits that fit to, I'm guessing, most, if not all, styles of electronic music. You'll be able to, no matter what kind of music you make, probably find something that fits into your sound. And then if you want to, you can replace the drum kit with something on your computer later before you actually push the song out. And you might even find, who knows, you might find that you don't want to do that after you try it. You just go back and use the kit it gave you or the kit you found on the device. It includes 16 pitches mode that automatically amps your drums and one-shots to as vast as multi-octave ranges, enabling immediate melodic triggering of your sounds at different pitches. For expanded rhythmic exploration, Move features both an arpeggiator and repeat tool, the latter being a Move-specific iteration on the DAW slotted beat repeat tool. So that'd be cool. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of finger drummers out there who are going to like this. I know, like, I take my laptop to school sometimes and I'll play around in Ableton, and like it's okay using a keyboard for like trying to get like a kick and snare and maybe like one other thing going, but it's not great. And like I'm sure if you have all the keyboard shortcuts memorized to know exactly what button's gonna click what on the like drum kit, it's probably fine, but I'm not a big fan of the way they lay that out. So this will be cool to be able to take with me and be able to like have a smaller drum kit type thing too. Live control from Ableton to be on the DAW. Ableton built Move for two significant reasons. Transform the DAW's multitude, blah 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 blah. I feel like if I just read all of this, it's gonna be like too boring. Like, and also, I don't want to do that, and you probably don't want to listen to me do that. So, dedicated USB ports for computer and MIDI connections use Type C and Type A connectors respectively, expanding Move's multi-instrumental control to nearly any virtual or physical instruments and effects. That's interesting. So it sounds like it's gonna be able to pull in MIDI, but I'm guessing also send the MIDI. So I think it'll do both. Moreover, a computer connection lets you activate Move's Control Live mode, transforming your Move unit into a detailed, customizable control surface for Ableton Live. So basically like a little push light. And I think that'd be fine. Like, as I'm sure, like, if you've ever used a push, you're aware that, like, if you try to, like, hit some pad, it's going to activate another pad because there's, like, a lot of repeat notes in here. Like, you don't need the whole surface, but different movements work better than others, I think. Like, I typically don't even use the right half of the push. It's just like the left half. What did I just do? That's interesting. I clicked something and things changed. There's like images now that weren't there. But yeah, so like if I'm using my push, I kind of use like the 4 pads on the left side up, and I go like up and down. But some people might go like left and right, and so I wonder if like that'll be like something to get used to for me personally. Like this is laid out kind of the opposite of how I would use it, but again that goes back to where I was like, I'd be fine with just a 4x4, but having this will be cool. I hope it's not like too many repeated notes. I would want to change it so that there's more distance in between. So like if I hit a note here, it's not like activating another pad on the Move. That way I can have like more range to work in. So we'll see how they set that up. I got a little lost. I hit an enter key and it like refreshed the page, and I think they've changed their site since when I first loaded it, it had only been up for like a couple minutes. Here we are. Transfer Move, yep, so it becomes like a little push. Seamless set continuity and worry-free wireless workflows. Okay, so it does have a rechargeable battery. I wonder if that battery is removable, because looking at the photos, I didn't see, it's not going to show us the bottom. I want to see underneath it. And they don't show that. My own concern with like a rechargeable battery is like, for example, I'm using a push 1. This thing's old. Like, if you can't change the battery out on it, especially on something that's like standalone, you kind of like have a timer when you buy this device, like how long is it going to actually be like functional, because over time the battery health will degrade, especially as you use it and depending on how you use it and how you charge it. So if this doesn't have a removable battery, it's kind of like that clock is just going as soon as you get it. It's like, how long is this going to work for? So if the battery's not removable, I would say that I would recommend to people to make sure you don't just keep it topped off at 100% power like all the time. That's the fastest way to kill your battery. Hopefully when it's plugged in, it's not also like running off the battery so that it can keep the cycle count lower. I don't know, that's really interesting. I don't know if we'll be able to find that out inside of this like spec page. Let's see, is there anything interesting in here? Note mode. Okay, session mode, capture button, USB, storage, use it as a push, built-in Wi-Fi. So that'd be cool. Ableton Cloud. Okay, so Cloud was what I was thinking about earlier, not Link. I don't think I've used Ableton Link. So I'm not sure. Some people are probably super happy to see that though. Anything interesting here? all pretty much the same stuff. Let's see, spec sheet. Oh, that just takes you down to here. Well, I guess we won't know immediately, but hopefully we find out soon about that battery. Hopefully we find out soon if this is like worth it, how good the speaker is, how good the microphone is, what the battery life is like. These are all important questions that we're not going to get off of the Sweetwater promo page full of all this marketing. And the word hour doesn't come up at all, which I will say is a little concerning that they don't talk about the battery life. Hopefully it's enough. Overall though, I think the device is pretty cool. I really like that it's priced so much cheaper than a Push 3 standalone. Like, it's crazy, the price difference. Obviously, with that price cut, you're losing a lot of stuff. You don't get this full-size screen. You have half the amount of pads. You don't have this top part at all. There's just less buttons. But I think most people probably don't actually need all of this to make the music that they want to make. And most people don't have the money to buy this. Certainly, like I said before, there's plenty of musicians out there who do, and good for them. I'm happy for them. But I think a lot of people can't, and so I think this, at less than a quarter of the price of the Push 3 standalone, is going to be very attractive to a lot of people. And yeah, I think I'm gonna wait like a day and try to see if this embargo lifts, and just like make sure, like, here are some reviews from some people who actually have like hands-on experience with it. But I think I'm gonna probably end up buying this. So if I do, I'll make sure to give you guys my review, which won't be biased by the fact Ableton gave it to me for free, like a lot of these people who are gonna want to keep getting things from Ableton for free and like get more product reviews in the future and just not burn bridges. Whereas I don't have that problem. I like Ableton a lot, but if it's shit, then I'll say it's shit. I don't really care. So we'll see. Stay tuned, and hopefully there will be a Ableton Move standalone review on the channel in the not too distant future, and hopefully legitimately do hope that it's like a good tool and instrument. Hopefully the battery life is good. Hopefully that microphone is good. Hopefully the speakers are good, because you're not going to want to lug around like a microphone and speakers with you on the go unless it's really bad, and then I guess you might want to, but like it's just going to be more of a hassle. So I'm excited for it overall. I'm excited about this price point. I think this is going to make this available to a lot more people. And yeah, that's about it. See you around. If you want to make sure you don't miss that review, subscribe, hit the bell. If they still have bells, does YouTube have bells still? I don't know. But either way, I'll see you later. Bye.